It is Monday, April 10th, and this episode is brought to you by Mudwater. Mudwater is a coffee alternative as well as the most aptly named sponsor for this show ever, with 1/7 of the caffeine as a regular cup of coffee. It's made with masala chai, cacao, mushrooms, turmeric, sea salt, cinnamon, and that is it. And I know what you're thinking, Matt. You are somebody who loves caffeine. Why would you be hawking for a company that is advertising less caffeine? And that's because it works. It's true. I love caffeine. I used to drink 2 energy drinks a day, and now I might have one a week. All thanks to Mudwater. If you or someone you love might want to make the switch to Mudwater, all you have to do is head on over to muddiedwatersofreedom.com/mud to make the switch today. Good morning, everyone. I am Matt Wright, editor-in-chief of Muddied Waters Media, here to bring you your morning news. I hope everybody out there is having a fantastic Monday and that you had a great weekend. So, let's get into it. As you know, on March 27th, jury selection began in the trial of Daniel Perry, the man who was accused of murdering Garrett Foster. The man who was accused of murdering Garrett Foster. On Thursday, the jury came back and announced that they found Daniel Perry guilty of murder. Which is great news, honestly. That is great news and a massive win for anybody who understands everything that happened that night. The issue is that because of when it took place and the situations surrounding it, it became much more politicized than it needed to be. So even though Daniel Perry got convicted, and sentencing, I believe, is next week or this week at some point. So we don't know how long he's going to be convicted for. We just know that he was found guilty, which had to be a relief to the Foster family. But so he was found guilty. We don't know how long the sentencing is because sentencing is this week. It took less than one day, 24 hours later, where Texas Governor Greg Abbott stated that the moment that it hits his desk, he will pardon Daniel Perry. This is a man who so let's take everything off the table. Let's take off everything off the table here. This is Texas, where they don't pardon people for murder. They've definitely sent people to die in the death penalty, with the death penalty with mental illnesses and on way less than what they have here. Fully admitting that they did it, saying that they were planning to do it, saying that, driving into a crowd of people. And the defense and the police are all on the side of Perry. And this has been obvious. The police have been paying to help the defense, which you don't see. You do not see this. The only reason this is happening is because when Garrett Foster was out there protesting, he was protesting against the police. So the police are obviously taking the side of the person who murdered him. Now, a jury of his peers found Daniel Perry guilty. Found him guilty. And Greg Abbott is saying, The moment that he gets the chance, he's going to pardon him. He's going to pardon a murderer. Not only is he going to pardon a murderer, he is going to pardon a murderer of a U.S. Air Force veteran, because he did not like the fact that that U.S. Air Force veteran was protesting the police. That's the long and short of it. That is the long and short of it. You can say, oh, it's because BLM, and BLM was a terrorist organization that was ripping off the people who supported them and using the money to blah, 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 whatever. That's not why he's doing it. The reason he is doing this, the reason that Greg Abbott is doing this, is because Greg Abbott wants to free the man, wants to pardon the man that murdered a U.S. Air Force veteran who did not like the overreach of police. That is what this is. Don't get it mixed up with anything else. You'll see, on Twitter, on Facebook, on all the socials, you're going to see different things. And I showed you guys the picture on March 27th, unless you're a subscriber and then you saw it a couple days earlier. I showed you the picture that they are circulating around saying, see, he pointed the gun. The butt of that rifle, the butt of the AK, was never in the shoulder. It was above the shoulder. The muzzle was pointed downward. It was not pointed at Daniel Perry. It was pointed to the ground. It was pointed at the ground. And they're saying, see, he pointed it. He pointed it. No, he didn't point it. And if you are to sit there and say, you have the right to carry, but you may not carry if you don't carry it in a way that I don't like. He did not point the rifle at him. I saw that video so many times. He never pointed the rifle at Daniel Perry. Daniel Perry drove into the crowd. Daniel Perry created that entire incident. And now the governor of Texas is going to pardon him because he doesn't like the fact that Garrett Foster was protesting police brutality. He is saying that this Uber driving Army sergeant is more important than the life of a U.S. Air Force veteran who thought that there was a problem with the system. Luckily in Texas, he can't just pardon. They have a board. They have a board that has to recommend the pardon, and if they recommend the pardon, they send that over to the governor's office, and then the governor can sign it. The only hope we really have, if you are hoping that Daniel Perry goes to prison for murder, as he rightfully should, our only hope is that the board takes a look at this and goes, you know what, he drove into the crowd, and no, Garrett Foster never pointed the gun at him. The butt of the rifle wasn't shoulder. Like a lot of people online are saying he was in the high ready position, and that's not what the high ready position is. At no point was he in the high ready position. So hopefully they take a look at it and they say, no, you know what? He actually instigated everything, and they never send it over. But the fact that Greg Abbott would put himself into the middle of this before sentencing, before anything else, he's just saying, yep, nope, I'm absolutely going to do it, shows that man does not stand for gun rights or anything at all, really, but it shows that he does not stand for gun rights. He does not stand for your rights to own guns, especially if you have beliefs that are opposite of his. Especially if you don't have if your beliefs are opposite of his. So remember, if they have the power to take the rights away, they will. They would have taken Garrett's if they could have. And now what they're doing is they're saying, nope, you had a license to kill because we disagreed with what this guy said. We'll be right back after these commercials. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with me through the break. Let's get into it. So, late last week, Late last week, the New York Times reported that a series of leaked documents from the Pentagon appeared online. Now, these leaked documents were of the utmost of security heightened preferences, and it does not paint the U.S. in a good light. It obviously, anytime that you have something from the Pentagon having to do with the United States and it gets leaked, there's going to be things in it that the Pentagon doesn't want you to see. But this actually had information on the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Joint Chiefs, like everything. It had bits on everything. And what we know is that the US was spying on everyone. Just everyone. We were spying on friends, we were spying on our foes, we were just spying on everyone. Now, depending on which site you see this reported, so we're taking all of this with a grain of salt. But depending on which site you see this reported, they either don't know who did the leaks or Russia did the leaks. And right now, since we're in a lot of anti-Russia phenomenon, where everybody blames Russia for everything and has been since, 2016, you kind of have to take this with a slight grain of salt that Russia's the one that did it, because they're just saying, yep, Russia did it. It's Russia, 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 Russia. They're like Jam Brady and Russia's Marsha. Right? Marsha? Yeah. So you have to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt on whether or not Russia, one, hacked the Pentagon, and two, leaked the information, a lot of it having to do with Russia. But depending on who you ask, Russia did it. So one of the documents that was leaked states that Ukraine is going to have a very difficult time continuing the war come May. One of the documents included an assessment, as reported by The Hill. One of the documents included an assessment from February from the Defense Department's Joint Staff, which said Ukraine's ability to provide medium-range air defense to protect the front lines will be completely reduced by May 23rd. The reported classified document also said once Ukraine's first layer of defense munitions runs out, the second and third layer expenditure rates will increase, reducing the ability to defend against Russian aerial attacks from all altitudes. Now, again, they don't really know where these come from, but the Washington Post says that the Justice Department and the Defense Department are investigating the apparent leak of classified documents after Russian sources posted them to online websites like Twitter and Discord. The documents are dated from March or earlier of this year. And the Post also reports that another document shows how quickly Ukraine's air defense projectiles will deplete, saying that SA-11 systems will be depleted by April 13th. NASAMs, which are made by us here in the U.S., will be expended by April 15th, and SA-8s will be gone by May. And a lot of this is really bad for the Ukrainians, especially because if what they are saying is true, their supposed invasion of Crimea that's supposed to be happening won't be able to hold out without more monetary support from us and the rest of the people in the international community. So if this report is true, get ready, because Zelensky is going to go on another tour of begging for money, begging for munitions, and really hoping that he can get the international community to continue backing him in this fight against Russia. Now, to Ukraine's defense, Ukraine on Sunday accused Russia of altering the Pentagon documents that surfaced on social media, and their defense ministry's intelligence directorate, defense ministry's intelligence directorate representative Andriy Yusov said, in recent decades, the most successful operations of the Russian special services took place in Photoshop, which honestly is one of the best burns that you can come up with. However, what else is that guy supposed to say? Nope, those are absolutely correct. We are going to be screwed come in 2 weeks. We won't have anything. And if you guys don't give us more stuff, all the people here are going to die. So right now, you don't really know who to believe. We don't know if Russia actually leaked these documents, or Russia hacked the Pentagon and got these documents and it ended up, then they leaked them, or if somebody else leaked them and Russia got them and then, their intelligence people were sharing them. No matter what it is, what we can assume is that we have a massive system securities failure going on at the Pentagon, which is something that needs to be corrected and fixed, especially for national security and things like that. On the other side of it, if what they're saying about Ukraine is true, there's two things that are going to happen. One, get ready, because the amount of money that we have given them so far means nothing, because it is going to triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple, whatever sex is. It's going to go up, and it's going to go up quickly. And if that's not the case, the only other option is for us to join the Ukrainian fight with our own soldiers. Now, we know that there are not a lot of people joining the military right now. And, why would they? Why would they? It's not like, there's any real true benefit of joining the military. And a lot of people are, many people are on the anti-war. I'm not going to go fight in a war that's not our war. As most of our wars have been since, World War II. Actually, even that one wasn't even really our war. We got dragged into it, but why were we in Europe? But we, a lot of the wars were not our wars. We were joining other people's wars. So a lot of people are sitting there thinking, I'm 18 years old. You won't let me smoke. You won't let me drink. You'll try me as an adult on anything, but you're going to give me a gun and let me go murder people in a war that I have absolutely nothing to do with. So a lot of people aren't joining up. No, they'd rather sit here and smoke pot and be happy. This means, and it has been floated, that they may reinstate the draft. And if they reinstate the draft in order to fight Zelensky's war, that will be quite possibly the breaking point for so many people. So keep an eye on all of this. Find out. We don't know if these are true. We don't know if what is in these documents are true. We just know what these documents say. So keep an eye on all of this. In the next couple of days, we will find out if we're going to find out if Zelensky is going to be begging the world for more and more money, even more than he has been. And if he is, then we can kind of lean toward, this document could be true. And there will come a point that instead of sending money, they're going to be sending bodies. And that's just the way it's going to go. And that's going to be a tipping point for a lot of people as far as where we stand as a nation. Are we just going to be there? Are we just going to be there to fight other people's wars? And how are we going to do this with the people who are in? Why are we sending our people to go fight these battles? And if we don't have enough people to do it, they are going to take people and make them go. So keep an eye out on all of that. Let me know what you guys think. If you are leaving a review on this episode, let me know what you think if we're going to get the draft back. That is the episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoy what is happening here at Muddied Waters Media, I ask you to do a couple of simple favors for us. Please, whatever podcasting platform you are listening to us on, give us a 5-star review. Also, leave a review. And the biggest way that you can help is by sharing this episode with your friends. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We will see you again very soon. And remember, where we're going, we don't need roads.